So I will be giving a unit 4 quick recap to you. So in unit 4, we will be dealing specifically with spreadsheet or Excel. So it is a practical stuff. You might already be aware of it. It is used for organizing, analyzing, visualizing, summarizing your data. Right? You can even do the complex calculations. You can manage your data sets. You can do complex calculations using functions and formula and all. And you can present your information in concise or in summarized form so that any user can see and you will see in effective manner. Okay. So some examples for these are MS Excel and Google Sheets. We can even use the variety of its functions and features. Some of the functions you might already be aware of, some ifs and all. So what is a function? Function is nothing but it is a built-in formula, some kind of formula that is it is pre-written or inbuilt in the Excel, like in the spreadsheet. Just need to write the function and give values. It will return the for output by itself. What is the function? How do we write the function? We first need to mention equals, then we need to specify the function name, and we need to enclose the arguments in the parentheses, like something like this. Equals, if it is sum function, sum, then we are enclosing the arguments in the bracket, parenthesis or bracket. So it will return us some value. So where do we get this function library? In formulas, this tab, formula tab, we have the function library. Done. So we will see each of the functions one by one quickly. First one is sum function. For doing sum, let's suppose we have what by the as the name suggests, it will be adding the values. So sum means it will add the values of the sales, all the values of the sales to see. How do we write the formula? I'll show it practically. Let's suppose we want to find out the total sum of sales. So we will be using sum for function here. And after writing that, we need to open the parenthesis and we need to select the range, this range. And I'm closing the bracket, then I'm pressing enter. So we got the answer. So what did it return? Total sum of sales, the sum of these values. Okay. Now we will see what is sum ifs. Sum if. First sum if is in sum if, since in sum we just added all the values, all the sales values. In sum if we can give a condition or criteria. Okay. Along with the range or specific this range, specific range, we can give the criteria or some condition, any one condition. So how do we do that? Let's suppose we want to find out the sum of the sales that is greater than 800. Let's see how do we do that practically. For this, we are going to use which function? Sum if. I'm opening a bracket. I'm going to select the range. Okay, this was till here same as sum. Now I am going to add a comma and I'll give some condition. What is the condition for over here for us? Greater than 800. I'm giving greater than 800. This is the condition and we need to enclose the condition in double quotations. I closed the bracket also and I'm pressing enter. So we got the value. It only returned the values of some of the values that are greater than 800 only. So we give some condition, some range and some criteria or condition. This is the syntax of sum if. In sum if, we can give some condition. Then, then more is some ifs. In some ifs, we can give more than one condition. Like in some if, we could have give only one condition, right? In some if, we can give more than one condition or more than one criteria. How do we write it? Like we need to select the range in criteria one range, criteria. Like condition, the range of the condition one, then condition one. The range of the condition two. Range of the condition three. Like this. So how any quantity of conditions you can use. Any number of conditions you can use. Well, let's suppose we want to find out the sum of product B only, specifically product B that is greater than 1000. So how do we find that out? So we are going to use sum if function. So first we need to select the range, criteria range. So I'm going to select this range first, that is sum range. Now I will be selecting criteria range 1. Let's suppose we have criteria range 1, like condition 1 range is product. Like we want the product to be only that is greater than a third. So we need to mention that this condition. I selected that condition. Then we need to mention the criteria. What is the criteria? Product B. Second, B product. So product B, followed by a comma, then criteria range 2. Again, this under this, what condition do we have? It is greater than 1000. So, did we do? We first mentioned this range, then criteria range 1. That is this range. Under that, what we want to select which product B. We mentioned product B under double quotations, comma, again criteria range 2. Under that, we want to select greater than 1000 only. So I'm pressing enter. We got, we got this value. That is sum of the products that is greater than 1000 only. That was about some ifs. This is how it works. Next one is count. Let's suppose we want to count the number of sales. What does count do? What is count function? Here we don't do the sum. We don't add up the values. We just count the number of cells. See, count function is pre-made. It counts the cells with numbers in range. Okay. It will only count the cells. Won't add up the numbers. Okay. It won't do the sum. It will just count the cells, number of cells. So total count of sales. The total count of sales is, we use count same as sum, but we just use count in place of sum. and we will count the rows. Like how many cells are there mentioned? One, two, three, four, five. It won't add up the values. It will just count how many values are there. It won't add it. It won't do the sum. I'll press enter. See, we got 5 as our answer. That was about count. Next one is count if. Count if. It's similar to sum if. Like its syntax is similar. Like range and criteria we need to mention. Let's suppose we want to find out the number of occurrence of product A. So let's see how do we do that. In place of this, so finding out how many times product A is coming, we will write countif function. So product column is, where is the product column? This. So I'm going to select this as our read. Comma. What is the condition? Product. In this column, how many times product A is coming? Like that, we need to find out product A. I closed it. Did we do? I selected the range and its condition. Which condition? Product A. Which product? Product A. Range, product. So how many times product A is coming? Product A, 2 times. So it returned the value as 2. Next one is count ifs. In count ifs, we can give more than one condition or more than one criteria. So it will be, its syntax will be like this. Criteria range 1, criteria means condition range, its condition. Condition range 2, its condition. Like this it works. So let's suppose we want to find out how many are there, how many regions are there that are greater how many in region 1, how many are there that are greater than 1,000? How many sales are being done that are greater than 1,000? So let's see. In region 1, how many sales are there greater than 1,000? So for this, we are going to use count ifs function. Count ifs and criteria 1. Like first condition is region. I'm going to select this, the range of that particular column. Then which region do we want to select? Region 1. I wrote that, comma. Then second is greater than 1,000. So I selected second range, criteria range 2, that is known as criteria range 2. Next one, criteria 2 is greater than 1,000. Means what we did, I just wrote counters. First range is this region one, this column, region column, in which we want to select region 1, and from this sales, second criteria, this is second criteria, second column. From this range, we want only those that are greater than 1,000. It must be region 1 and it must be greater than 1,000. I press enter, it will return 1 only. Means in region 1, first we have 1,800, 1,200. In 1,800, 1,200, which one is greater than 1,000? Only one. 1,200 is greater than 1,000. 800 is less than 1,000. 1,000 is equal to 1,000. So only one. 1,200 is greater than 1,000. So that is how this count is work. That was about count is. Next one, we will see maximum function, that is max function and min function. I hope you know already about maximum, minimum. In general term, it is the greatest or highest value among the values, particular range of values. So, what is the syntax of this? Maximum, max, max. We need to mention max. Then we need to give the range, range of numbers. So, let's see it practically. Let's suppose we want to find out maximum sales from there. I will write max, then I'll select the range, close the bracket, enter. So we got the maximum value. Which one is maximum in this file? 2000. So it returned to 2000 to us. Next is minimum. As the name suggests, it will return the minimum or smallest or lowest value. For this, we need to write MIN in caps, and we need to select the range, specific range. Since the range is same, and pressing enter, we got 800. In these values, sales values, which one is minimum value? 800 is minimum value. This was our minimum. Next, we will see what is cell referencing. So, in Excel, everything is made up of what cells. Smallest unit of this is cell only. So, that makes they will be referencing cells very specifically. They might qualify, right? So, the referencing the cell. So, there is some location for the cell, specific cell. Cell referencing. So, there are three types of referencing, cell referencing. First is relative, second one is absolute, and third one is mixed. So let's see each one of these. First one is relative referencing. By default, automatically we will be getting cell references as relative references only. Okay, and until or unless we change the references, it will be same relative one. Let's see. Let's see. For example, we have some data. Some this data for this. See, I'll show you. Suppose we have some data. So if we want to do the sum addition for these scores, so what I need to do, I wrote equals to sum and selected 12 to 23. That is B2 and C2 D2. So B2 range D2. So that was the first one. Similarly, we will drag this and we will get all the values. B2, D2 for first row, for second, B3, D3, B4, D4, B5, D5. So it is relatively changing. If 2 becomes 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here also D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, 7, 8, like this. So this is known as relative referencing. So by default, we will be having relative referencing. But what is absolute referencing? Yeah, I'll show you. So let's suppose I have some two value over here in H5. H5 cell, I have two value. Let's suppose I want to multiply 2 with the scores of this chess scores. I want to multiply 2 to each of these values. Let's suppose how do we do that? equals D2. Chess score is D2 multiplied by 2. So it is H5. Now, when I am going to drag it, see what will it be returning to us? See, it is getting changed. Like it is relatively getting changed. Like H1, H5, H6, H7, H8, H9, like this. So we don't want that. We only want to multiply H5 with each of these scores. We want to multiply 2 with all these scores. We only want to use H5 only. So we want to keep H5 as constant. We don't want to change H5. So in that case, we will be using dollar sign before H and before 5. So now if I drag it, see the change. See, H5 is constant for all the values. So we will be getting our answer as all these values multiplied by H5 cell only, that is 2. Each of the values are getting multiplied by 2 only. That is absolute referencing. This was relative, this score was relative. It is getting changed at each row. This is absolute referencing. Next one we have mixed referencing. So for mixed referencing, since see, we refer any cell as row and column, right? So columns are A, B, C, D, E, and rows are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In mixed referencing, we can keep one thing as constant and we can change other thing. Like suppose here we are keeping 2 as constant by adding dollar sign to it. And D, like C, we are adding dollar sign to G. G is constant, but 5, 6, 7, 8 is changing. So G, what is G? It is column. And 5, 6, 7, 8, these are rows. So we are changing one thing but keeping other thing constant. So that is mixed. That is mixture of relative and absolute referencing. So this was the difference between relative, absolute and mixed referencing. Let's see the next one. And function. Now we will see what is and function. So in and function, it have the syntax something like this: and expression one, or expression two, or logical value one, or logical value two. So what is it about? So it will return true or false to us. But when it will return true or when it will return false, there is some condition. Suppose, see this example. Suppose we give something here, one condition, one expression here, one condition or expression here. If this expression is true and this expression is also true, it will return true. If any of the expression is false, it will return false. So the condition for AND is all the expressions or all the logical values, all the conditions must show up true. Then it will return true. Even if any one of the condition is false, it will return false. See, let's see by using an example, we'll understand. Let's suppose these are the data, products in stock, sale and all. They're applying AND function over here. So we are using AND B3. What is in B3? 20. Is B3 greater than 15? 20 greater than 15? True or false? Yes, it is true. 20 is greater than 15. So our first condition is true. Second condition, C3 is less than or equal to 15. Is C3 less than or equals to 15? Yes. 13 is less than 15. It must be either less than 15 or equals to 15. So it is satisfying the condition. It is less than 15. 13 is less than 15. Both the condition is true. Both the conditions are true. So it will evaluate to true and function will evaluate to true. In case Suppose any of the condition would have been false. Suppose first this condition would have been false, then this and function would have been returned false to us. Next we will see what is if. It was about and. All the conditions must be true, then it will return true. If any of the condition is false, it will return false. The next one is if. In if also, we will be having some condition that we call as logical test. If that condition is true, it will return true. It will return first value. If the condition is false, it will return the value at this place. Suppose I will give an example. If there is some condition C2, what is in the C2? 318. If 318 is greater than 500, this condition is, if this is true, it will return yes. If this is false, it will return no. Since this condition is false, since 318 is not greater than 500, it will return no. So, how this works? If the logical test or condition is false, it will return the last, this one. As this was false, it returned no. In case this logical test is true, it will return first this one. Suppose it have been, if it has been for true, it would return yes. So this is how it works. Next we have HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP. So first we will see VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is vertical lookup. Vertical, as you might be aware, what is vertical? In vertical lookup, like let's suppose we have huge amount of data, huge amount of columns and all. So if we want to look up any value, any specific value, we can make use of VLOOKUP function. So let's suppose we have this data. This is first column, second column, third, fourth, fifth, 5 columns. We have, and it must be in the vertical forms. Columns are like this vertically. Now, how do we use this? So suppose we want to find out like this. I'll show example. Suppose by using search ID, you want to get the name, particular name. So suppose you entered 7, it will return the related name, particular name, specific name written. So how do we do that? How do we get that? How can we write the formula? Let's see. We need to write equals VLOOKUP, open a bracket, H3. Search ID, we are going to mention search ID in which cell? H3. Here see, in H3, if we write 7, it will return this. If we write 4, it will return this, like this. So search ID it is being mentioned in H3. So first we need to write the lookup value, that is known as lookup value. H3 is lookup value, which value we are going to find out. Then we need to find the data range. Entire beginning to end. This is the data range. And select the since these are 4, 5 columns, each column like first this ID number is first column, name is second column, type is third column, fourth column, fifth column. So we want to return the name. We want to get the name out of it. So we will write 2. In case you want to get the total, you would have been written 5 in place of 2. The last one is true or false, like 1 or 0. Anything you can write. If you mention 1, it will give you an approximate value. Like it is true means approximate value. If you write 0 or false, it will give you exact value, exact match. So that is optional. You can even write it or not. So what we wrote here, first we wrote whatever search ID we are mentioning in which cell, H3. So that is lookup value. Then we selected the data and which column value we want to return, which specific column value we want to return. Just two. By using search ID, if you want to return the name. The name is second column. So we wrote two. And one is for true. That is optional. So this is how it works. When we write 7, it will return the specific name. 4, then 4, then its name like this. This is how VLOOKUP works. That was vertical lookup. Now we will see what is HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP stands for horizontal lookup. So in vertical lookup, we had the data as like this, vertically, like this. Now we will be having our data as horizontal lines. Let's see. Let's suppose we have the data as some students' roll number, their roll number are A, B, C, D, E. Their marks are being mentioned. So suppose we want to get the marks of the student B in management subject. How do we get that? So this is the syntax of HLOOKUP. So how do we write it? HLOOKUP in double quotation. We need to mention the student's name or roll number. We mentioned D in the double quotations, comma, we will select the data, complete data range from here beginning to end. That we did A1 to F5, comma 4. So we want to fetch the marks of B. We mentioned that, we mentioned the range. But in which subject? In management subject. So just like we numbered the columns as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We will number the rows also as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this headings, row headings is first row. This is accounts is second row, third row, fourth row. So management is fourth row. So we need to fetch the value from fourth row. So we will write 4, then followed by a comma, and then we can write 0 or 1 or true or false. So true returns approximate match and false returns exact match. As I told you in VLOOKUP also, true means it can be true or false. False means exact match. True means approximate. It will return exact value if we write false there. So we got 72. These marks in management is 72. So that's how HLOOKUP works. Next, we will see slices. Slices are kind of filters in Excel. So we can use slices to filter our huge amount of data in Excel tables or pivot tables. How do we insert it? We need to go to insert tab and click insert, click slicer, insert and slicer. So when we click on slicer, we will get this pop-up. Insert slicers. So in this, we can check or uncheck any column names. These are column names. This is name column, cricket column, basketball column, chess column. So let's suppose I'm selecting only chess and I'm clicking on OK. So I will be getting chess slicer. This is the slicer for chess. So I can even check and uncheck the values also, and it will give the particular data for me, filtered one. That was about slicers. Now we will see what is match and index function. I'll show it by using an example. Let's suppose what is match function? Its syntax is something like this. So match function returns the position or uh, particular place of that value. So let's suppose I'll show you. I write in place of chart, I'll write Irani chart. See, it will return 3. Why? Can you see this table, this data? There are some dishes names. This is first dish, second, third, fourth, and fifth. These are specific positions for the dishes. So see, Irani chai is third number, so it is returning third number. I'll write paneer. Guess what? It will be returning two. It returned two. Is its position is two. Now, how do we write that? First, we need to write the match equals match open bracket, and we are writing the specific search value or lookup value, whatever value we want to look up for in this B11. So we mentioned B11, then specific column range C3 to C7, then followed by a 0. 0 means false, it will give exact value, that is optional. What we did, just B11, that is lookup value. Wherever we mention the lookup value, then the range 0. I'm pressing enter, we will get it. You can change it to confirms, you will get 5 since its position is 5. That is how match function works. Let's see what, so it is only returning the position. But index function, we also have something known as index. Index function returns the value, actual values. If suppose we have some years established bulk, so it will return the specific value of the year and all. To see, how do we write it? We need to first write index, then select the range and write the position of that year. If we want 1991, I will write 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth is 1991. Then 1. 1 is for true. You can even write 0 or 1 in last. That is optional. It's suppose I change 4 to 5 and I press enter. So I got 1590. Fifth position, we have 1590. So this is how it works. Let's change 5 to 2. So I got 1143, 1143. Right. So these are match and index function have their drawbacks also. Like match function only returns the position. Index function is returning the actual value, but if we want to change if we want to see another value, we need to change the formula itself. Go to the formula and change it. But in match, we will just change the name and we will be getting the specific position. So for this, we can combine both the features of match and index. See, when we change the name, it is changing by itself, applying, it is applied. But if we want to change this, we need to change the formula. So for this, we will combine index and match. So here in index, in the second, like in the position, in place of position, we will add match function. Yeah, in the place of position, like we were changing 5, 4, 3, 1, something like this, we will add the match function. So when we add that, it will be automatically be changed. If suppose I write chart here, see 600 changed to 1200. I write a near here, 1200 changed to 600. I change it to kebabs here. It changed to 500, like this visitors count. So that is how it works. We combined both of these. This was about index function, match function, and combining index and match function. All this we have done. Last is financial functions. Financial function is in accounting and finance. you use, you need to perform some calculations. So by using sheets, you can do it effectively. What are the commonly used financial functions? PV, FV, NPV, NFV, NPV, CSE, CAGR, and all these. What is PV? Let's see. PV is the present value. Suppose you want to go to Goa and you want to save for the future. Say you want to save some amount for the future. In the future, you want 50,000 so that you could go to Goa. Okay. So you are uh, saving the amount in the periods, 2 periods, like 2 years. Periods means years. And in bank, since you are saving it in bank, you will get 6% interest. Okay. So how do we find the present value of that amount, that money in this scenario? For finding present value, we will use the formula PV. So PV, first its syntax is something like this: rate. Rate means interest rate. So D5, we mentioned D5. Then D6 NPER means number of periods. How many number of years or periods are there? D6, like means 2. Next, D7 means payment. Monthly payment, 0. We are not paying monthly. It's 0. We need to add minus also there. Then D4. It is future value. In future, how much amount do you want so that you could go to Goa? That is D4. Future value, 50,000. I'm pressing enter. So that was the syntax. Rate. Then number of periods, then payment, then its future value. I'm pressing enter. So we got the present value. Then future value. So as the name suggests, whatever amount of money you want to save for future, it will return that. So how do we find it out? Its syntax is rate of interest, 6%. Then number of periods, 2. So D6. D6. Then payment, monthly payment 0, D7. And minus D8 means present amount. If we have present value, present amount only, then we can find out the future. So minus D8, this one. We will add minus to present value. I'm pressing enter like this. We got the future value. Next one is, that was about PV and FV, present value, future value. Next one is monthly payment. Let's suppose you want to buy a smartphone. A phone you want to buy. So you might have been know like EMI, about EMI. You need to pay monthly, right? So let's take that as a scenario. So what is the actual cost of smartphone? 24,000. And annual interest for that is 8%, and number of periods in 1 year, that is 12 months. And monthly interest is this much, 0.67. So you want to find out, if you want to find out the payment, monthly payment, how much amount you need to pay monthly for that EMI, for that phone. So let's find out. So its syntax is something like this. Payment, monthly payment is PMT. Its rate. Rate is D16. Monthly interest rate. First, we need to mention the rate, interest rate. D16, then number of periods. How many number of periods? 12. Okay. Means in 1 year, you have 12 months. So 12 periods. So D17. Then last is what is the actual amount of cost of smartphone? That is D14. We need to add minus to that. We press enter, we got the monthly payment amount, monthly EMI we need to pay to get the smartphone. That was about payment. Next one is CAGR, compound annual growth rate. So for this, we have some formula. It is beginning value divided by ending value. I'll show it. We have seen these two. Payment, we have seen CAGR, compound annual growth rate. So its syntax is end value or ending value divided by starting value to the power, like you write x square, a square, b square. So this is the base and this is the power. So end value is divided by start value to the power 1 by number of years minus 1. This is the formula for CAGR. So we will be writing specific formula and press enter. So you will get the value. See. See, in this, we have formula beginning end value first. So where is ending value? D33. So D33 divided by starting value is D32, means beginning value. Power 1 by number of years is 5. It is in D34. Minus 1 to minus 1. See, we press enter, we will get this value. Next one is NPV, net present value. So to find the net present value, we have this syntax. We need rate, interest, discount rate, and the values. So let's suppose we have this data. So to find out its value, we have like this. So how do we do this? I'll show it in this example. Let's suppose we have this data. So we want to find out the net present value. What do? We first we will first write the rate and we will select the range. What is the rate? Discount rate. It is in I43. I43, it is the range. That is 10%. So we wrote that cell name. Then we selected the range, cash flow range, year and cash flow. First year, second year, and how much cash flow is there. So we selected the range from here to here. So this is how all the values range. We closed the bracket, we press enter, we will get the value like this. See, we got the value as $359.69. Next one is IRR. For finding out IRR, it is internal rate of return. For finding that, we just need to write IRR and we just need to select the range. Like I'll show you. IRR and this range, this cash flow range. When we press enter, we will get the value. It is that simple. Next one is MIRR. MIRR is modified internal rate of interest. And for finding out MIRR, we just first need to mention the range, then discount rate and reinvestment rate. I'll show you in the example. See, first we mentioned the range from this till from here to here. I36, R36. Then I43, I43 is discount rate. It's 10%. Then I44 is reinvestment rate. That is 12%. Then we press enter to see values, finance rate or discount rate. Discount rate is also known as finance rate and reinvestment rate. That was the syntax for MIRR. I press enter, I got the value. Last topic is charts. In BCSK, you might have learned that we just need to insert any kind of charts. Like for any type of data, suppose this, if we want to insert the chart for this data, I select this, I go to insert, I can see recommended charts like these charts, and I can even go for others like these. There are various, and we can even do the formatting changes, filtering, recoloring, all these changes. So let me know if you have any doubts. All the best.